There are two types of controversial equipment that we're going to talk about for a minute, and the first is more controversial within animal control, and the other is more controversial with the public. So what's controversial with animal control is tranquilizing an animal, and the reason for that is that the tranquilizer drugs are FDA controlled, they're hard to get, they have to be refrigerated so you can't have them on your vehicle. Once you medicate the dart that you're going to use to tranquilize an animal, you need to make sure that the animal is contained geographically, because you don't want to dart him and have him leave the area while he's drugged. Becomes a danger to people outside the area. You also don't want to estimate the weight of an animal incorrectly, which is not easy to do, which you do have to do to know how much drug to put in. There are many aspects of preparing the tranquilization, but another one that's important is the amount of drug you put in the dart affects the weight of the dart, and that means it affects the trajectory of the dart carrying projectile. So you have to know how much it weighs, how far it can go, when it impacts the animal, will it inject. It's very complicated, and the reason it's complicated to us inside animal control is that the community often asks you to do that. They often say, why can't you just dart the bear? And there are so many reasons. It also takes a lot of training to do it properly. So the animal has to instantly be transported to a vet after the darting. So just be aware that it does seem like a magic bullet, but it is not. It's very complicated, and most agencies steer away from that solution even though the public demands it. The other controversial piece of equipment, which is not controversial inside animal control but is with the general public, is the control pole. A catch pole is a noose. It's the long pole with the loop on the end that primarily is used for containing a dog. It can also be used successfully on some other animals, but with definite caveats and training. But when used on a dog, the public often perceives it as aggressive and cold and distant and improper to the animal. And during the time that you're using it, obviously you're not going to be sitting down talking to the public who's watching you have to efficiently take a dog to a safe place. But what you do want to, if you have a moment after, or even if you can make a little handout that you give to people when you have to use a control pole, is used in its proper application. It is a beautiful tool and is actually kinder to the dog. What it allows a wild dog that does not find the human voice comforting and does not find the touch of a person to be anything that they are interested in, not soothing at all. They don't want to smell people, they don't want to feel people, and they don't want to hear people. So using the control pole allows you to restrain the dog, move him to a safe place, release him from the tool, and have him taken to a place where you can evaluate him. Some dogs that have been caught with a catch pole, when you get back to the shelter, are delightful, friendly, outgoing to people that they trust and that are acting normally. We tend to underestimate the idea of a person in a uniform kidnapping you from the environment you're in, and the effect that has on the dog. So the control pole allows you to do it quickly and safely so that nobody gets hurt, and so that contact with the animal at the time that they are too upset to handle it is minimized. There are a lot of other equipments that you'll have, muzzles, cages. We talked about pepper spray not being the be-all and end-all that it's supposed to be, but citronella spray can be helpful, so can a fire extinguisher. There's bite stick training. All of these items require special training, and you should definitely opt for that training because some of these tools have uses other than they're intended for, and it's great to know of those as well. If your agency doesn't have a trailer, it is something to consider who in your neighborhood does, who in a neighboring jurisdiction does, so that if you need to get one, you can get your hands on it when it is necessary for whatever you're doing.